अबे हेलो भाई, नहीं हो रहा है भाई।
Hello, good evening, students. Good evening, Rasika ma'am. Myself,
Yeah, good
Deepak.
evening, Deepak sir.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. So, shall we start, ma'am?
Yeah, we can start. I
Yeah.
would like just a small introduction from your side. What are the
Yes, ma'am.
students
Yes, ma'am.
preparing for exactly? If you can give me a brief about it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, good evening, students. I'm Deepak Kulkarni, Senior Manager, ICFI Business School, Marketing. We have Rasika Ghate ma'am here from Planet E, and she's also a visiting faculty for IBS Mumbai. So, before starting session, I will introduce ma'am. Professor Rasika Ghate is an accomplished professional with 18 years of experience in spanning retail, insurance, KPO, and education. She holds deep expertise in study abroad counseling for the US, UK, and Australia, and helping students to pursue global academic opportunities. At present, she works as a verbal faculty with Planet E, training aspirants for the competitive exam such as CAT, CT, and banking. In addition, as a certified career counselor and freelancer mentor, she supports students in identifying their strengths and choosing their right career path to match their potential. I welcome you, ma'am.
Yes. Hello. Good evening, everyone. Students, can you quickly give me a brief about what are you preparing for, Sarthak? If you can unmute yourself. Sarthak, are you there? Tanmay, Tanmay, can you please unmute
Yes, ma'am.
yourself? Yeah, whosoever you can unmute yourself and please can you give me a brief about what are you currently preparing for?
Currently, ma'am, I am preparing for MST CET so
Okay,
that I am targeting that Tier 1 colleges of Mumbai and Pune as well.
okay, fine. And what about you, Janvi? Janvi, can you unmute yourself?
Ma'am, actually, I couldn't hear you well because your voice was a bit flagging. I didn't hear your question actually.
Okay, I just wanted you to introduce yourself. What are you exactly preparing for?
Right now, I'm preparing for CAT exam.
Okay, so you're targeting 2025 or 26?
No, for like 2025 CAT.
So 25 CAT you're preparing for.
Yes.
Okay, okay. And what about you, Rishabh? I just want to, get a hang of it. Like, what students, what are you preparing for? So mostly, I think, as students have introduced themselves, they are preparing for all the CAT exams or CET, CAT affiliated exams. Some students may be preparing for GRE, GMAT. So most of the all these competitive exams, you will have three sections in these competitive exams. Your quant section, that is your math section, that will test your aptitude, right? All your 8, 9, 10 concepts, you need to prepare yourself well for all these concepts. And then there is verbal section, that is English section, which I take care of in most of the for most of the exams like GRE, GMAT, CAT, CET, for banking exams also. And then there is a section like logical reasoning. Now, logical reasoning again has two sections, which are again divided into analytical reasoning and verbal reasoning. So in analytical reasoning, you will get questions related with the subsets questions or a Venn diagram questions, direction questions, or questions related with the maybe blood relations, visual reasoning. But in verbal reasoning, the questions are related with assumptions, conclusions, cause and effect. So ultimately, all these questions are language based. You need to comprehend the language very well in order to do these questions correctly. That is very important. So if you are specifically focusing upon how you are going to prepare for these exams, because ultimately uh, competition is there and you will be competing with all the students across all the categories. So it is important for all of you to really prepare well. So for verbal section, I can definitely guide you as in how to go about preparing for verbal section. May I know all students, because most of you are preparing for verbal section, do you guys read Durva? Can you unmute yourself? Let's make it an interactive session.
Yes, ma'am.
Durva, what do you read? Do you read newspapers on a daily basis?
Not daily basis, but I read sometimes.
What do you read in newspaper?
It's Marathi newspaper, Maharashtra Times.
Maharashtra Times, but you are attempting your CAT, CET exams. All
Yeah.
these papers, like all these exams, are
Yeah.
in English language. So how are you preparing for that? I'm specifically
Ma'am,
asking you that.
ma'am, I am reading the books related to the verbal ability. I have
Books. Which books you are reading?
no, ma'am. For which CAT exam we give related to that books. Means
Okay,
for preparation.
for preparation. No, but additionally for language, what are you studying?
Uh, not.
Not really. Okay, what about you, Rishabh? Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Rishabh, you are preparing for which exam?
Only for my IBS interest test.
Okay, okay. So for verbal section, what extra preparation you are doing?
Ma'am, nothing doing.
You are not really prepared. So have you started reading newspapers?
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you read in newspaper?
Ma'am, actually, I will read only for books, not newspaper.
Okay, only books.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What about you, Chaitanya? Chaitanya, can you unmute yourself? What about you, Kiran? Kiran Nemde or Yana? Anyone can unmute themselves and, just speak about how your preparations are going, because I want to get an idea how you guys are preparing. So you see, verbal section is not something that you will open up a book and start preparing. That is there. Those books are given. You may have bought some books from somewhere. You may have spent money buying those books. But ultimately, verbal is all about language. You need to improve on your language. Unless you do that, it will be difficult for you to crack verbal section. Yes. Anyone wants to speak, please, you can join in. Purva, yes? You want to add on something?
मेरा नाम लिख
Yug, anything you want to contribute? Okay. Students, if you are preparing for verbal section, just solving questions from the books will not really help you. You need to see for verbal see maths. I can say that you need to solve questions on a particular topic like profit and loss, or if I talk about trigonometry, or if I talk about arithmetic reactions, arithmetic equations, you have to really solve questions for each topic, maybe 50 60 question, in order to really make your concepts clear. But language is vague, right? Specifically when you talk about verbal section, English language, then you need to read newspapers on a daily basis. You need to improve on your vocabulary. You need to improve on your comprehension. And vocabulary is something that is extremely important, because these are the roadblocks when someone is preparing for competitive exams. So vocabulary is your stronghold. It is that area in which you can actually score marks. Okay, maths is scoring, but at the same time, when I talk about verbal section, English section, then vocab portion is something on which you can depend upon, right? If in RCs, if you are reading a paragraph and you have really not understood the passage, you have not understood the language, but if there is one or two questions on vocabulary, then at least not the complete all the questions, 5-6 questions, but at least 2-3 questions, you are in a position to really solve those questions, right? So ultimately in competitive exams, the whole idea is to gain as much or as many marks as possible, because and if negative marking is, so again, you have to be careful. If there is negative marking, then you need to be careful about how you are attempting these questions. But yes, today I'll be specifically talking about vocab section, because this is an area which is slightly on an easier side. If you really work hard, you can score good marks on this section at least. So all your banking exams, CET exam, CAT per se, I will not say you will really get questions on vocabulary, but you will get affiliated questions, as in RCs, if a paragraph is just based on one word, right? And if you are not really aware of that word, obviously it will be difficult for you to comprehend the paragraph. Maybe the passage starts on a short form, right? If the paragraph is about GM crops, any idea what are GM crops? Like, I have not introduced, like if the paragraph, in the paragraph, the whole, full form is not given. And if you are not aware of that topic, then it will be really difficult for you to understand or to comprehend the passage. So may I know what do you mean by GM crops? If anyone can pitch in.
Ma'am, can I?
Yeah, sure, Costa.
Basically, they are genetically modified crops, such as
Yes.
there's some crops like GM mustard.
Yes.
They're like rice.
Yes.
There's some soybean also.
Yes. So many genetically modified. So now, if the student is not aware, if the student is not well read, then it will be, and the whole paragraph is about genetically modified crops, the international laws, and how different countries are interacting on different levels, how the laws are protecting their own countries for genetically modified crops. Then obviously, just basis the short form, it will be difficult for you to really comprehend the paragraph. If the paragraph is about people who are skilled or who are adept in using both the limbs, right? We can use the word ambidextrous for such people. But if ambidextrous, that's the literal meaning, right? Ambidextrous, any idea what does that mean? Someone who can really work with both his hands, right? That's the literal meaning of ambidextrous. But if a paragraph is about it is about corruption in the country, right? And if we are talking about people, so if I say there are, so the statement is there are so many ambidextrous people in the country. So ambidextrous, then am I talking about people who can really write with both his or her hands? What so you need to really know how a particular word is used in the paragraph, how suitable it is to use that word in that context. So contextual usage is another very, very important part in any of the competitive exams. So any idea, if you can, someone can give me a cue, like how this word is used in the paragraph? Yes, ambidextrous people. That's the literal meaning of the word ambidextrous. Someone who can actually write with both his hands is ambidextrous. But yes, if I'm writing an article about corruption, and if I use that there are so many ambidextrous people, how this word is used? Yes, any guesses? Anyone can guess how do I want to use this word? Yes, anyone? Can anyone pitch in? Yes, Costa?
Basically, if I take a guess, I will take basically who knows how to do corruption and also knows how the legal way.
Legal, not legal way, or someone who can take drive with both his hands, right?
Yeah.
So a word which is not really used for its, so there are different meanings of words, right? Different contextual meanings of the words. So if there is something like denotation of a word and a connotation of a word. Denotation means what does a word particularly denotes, as in what is the literal meaning of that word, what is the dictionary meaning of that word. But it can be used differently, right? So that is the contextual meaning. So sometimes words are not used literally, but there is figurative usage of words also, wherein in different contexts we use different words. Okay, so now students, you will not really get this knowledge anywhere piled up in a book, or any, like there is a book named Word Power by Norman Lewis, but then again, you cannot start mugging up words from there. Yes, you can always keep that book with you, because sometimes, you can refer to that book if you come across any difficult word. There are good stories behind words. If you want to read the origination stories behind words, you can use that book. But then mugging up words will not really help you out when you are, really preparing for exam, because there is a systematic way which in classes, in Planety, we actually uh, uh, guide our students as in how to prepare for vocabulary, because it is not something, because most of the students I've come across, they say, okay, ma'am, we, before the exams for a month or two, we'll just start mugging up words from a dictionary, and that's how we will appear for the exams. And they feel, that they will be in a position to really crack vocabulary. But believe me, guys, when it comes down to words, most of the times in exams, you will not get direct synonyms, antonyms. Words are used in a contextual way, not directly. So suppose if I say, if I use a phrase like, the actual phrase is surrendering to your itchy feet, right? Or so if I put this phrase in a FIB question, that is fill in the blanks question, and if I say dash to your itchy feet, so the phrase goes like, it is surrendering to your itchy feet, right? But in the option choices, if there are two words like surrendering to your itchy feet and conceding to your itchy feet, then which one will you choose in that context? Because then both, so in competitive exams, obviously you will get options which are almost close options, or they are synonyms also, right? In this case, conceding is also surrendering, surrendering is also, both of these words are synonyms. So then if you are not aware of that phrase, obviously some students may choose conceding to their itchy feet. But then the correct phrase is surrendering to your itchy feet. So many a times, because this is language, it has evolved over a period of time. It is British's language, and obviously they have ruled across the world for so many years. So obviously, जैसे अब all of us are from Mumbai, right? तो अगर आपने देखा होगा तो मुंबई में the way we use Hindi, right? बहुत बार हम लोग जाने का है, आने का है, करने का है. This is the way we use language. But is that the correct way to use it? Definitely not. So, but then there is yes, we say we don't want to use it, but in colloquial language, when you are speaking with your friends or family members, we tend to use such this way of using. So there is a sort of native influence on language, and this is exactly what has happened with English language also. Because they have ruled across the world. Obviously, when you are living in a place for 200 years, 300 years, you will start picking up the native words, the local words. Okay, so you will see influence of all these languages on English language. You will see words. If students know, there are so many words from French language. There are so many words from Greek language. There are so many words from Sanskrit also, from like orange. Orange was first used as naranja, right? It was an Arabic word. And then from naranja, it went on to become naranj, and then orange, and then orange, right? So that's how a word has traveled over a period of time. So just be curious about new words if you come up, because otherwise mugging up words from a book or a dictionary, it becomes an extremely mundane activity. You will not really enjoy learning words. So if you really want to actively use these words, use when you're having a conversation with your friend or your family members, try to use these words in your day-to-day usage, because that's how you will make it a fun activity. Otherwise, preparing for competitive exams, see, maths Maths is still okay because you are continuously solving some or the other problem, right? Your brains are working. But language, I come across this thing for RCs that students really feel overwhelmed when they are reading RCs, because if you talk about any competitive exams, you will at least get 3 to 4 reading comprehension. Now, reading these passages really quickly, first of all, that itself is so overwhelming, right? And on the top of it, like, so the standard time is you will not get more than 30 seconds, 30 to 45 seconds to solve a particular question. For quant, it is really difficult because you need to solve. But in English, vocabulary is one section, which if you know the word, you can solve the question in 1 or 2 seconds also, right? So this is an area in which you can actually save time, which you can give it to other questions related with RCs. Because RCC, ultimately, everything boils down to comprehension. And believe me, if you are not really aware of a particular word, obviously then there is no way you will be in a position to comprehend the paragraph, for sure, right? And on the top of it, even if you know the literal meaning, but if you are not able to comprehend how that word is used contextually in that scenario, then obviously you will not be able to really get what is the hidden meaning given in the paragraph, or inference based questions, right? So developing your vocabulary is very, very important. Any exam you're preparing for, and this is something, it is an activity, students, that will help you throughout your lives, because you will be communicating. See, English has become a global language now, right? So you will be conversing with people not just here in India, but across the world, mostly through emails, right? Or through telephonic conversations. Then it is very important. First of all, we really don't want that people to use extremely difficult words, but most of the times, whatever vocabulary that comes in your competitive exams are the words that are used in communication medium on a regular basis in newspapers. So that's why I always focus, or I always tell my students to read articles in newspapers. Get into the habit. Don't just, even if you feel the activity extremely boring, you lose interest, still go ahead and push yourself a little bit and still go ahead and read art. Don't be comfortable in an area in which you feel comfortable. Generally, that's the tendency, right? So if you're reading, suppose Sarthak, if I ask you, if you are reading, if you're picking up a newspaper, which article would you like to read? Yes, Sarthak,
Actually, ma'am, I didn't read the newspaper.
you don't
Because,
read the newspaper.
no, I am not read it, but I
Okay,
have the
suppose if I
interest
ask
in.
you, if I ask you to read newspaper, what type of article would you like to pick up? Article on
If
which
the
topic?
if the articles is related to the stock market now, so I'll be there because
Are you a
my
commerce student?
yeah, I'm commerce student, and actually my father is in stock market, and I have to daily watches money control or every the numbers, every the stock. So I have the little bit interest in that.
You have little bit of interest, exactly. So ultimately it boils down to interest, right? Someone who is really Rishabh, may I know, what if I give a newspaper to you, what type of article would you like to read? I can see only certain names on my screen, so if anyone else wants to pitch in, please do that.
Ma'am, I'm not read article and newspaper. I will only read books
You will only read books, okay, fine.
like training
Balraj,
related only for.
okay. What about you, Juhi?
Yes, ma'am.
Juhi, Balraj, if you can just unmute yourself.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Balraj, what type of articles would you like to read?
Ma'am, basically the articles based on the technologies
Technology field, okay.
like AI and ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning.
Machine learning, okay,
Based on
fine.
that,
And your background is into which field?
uh, I'm in IT, ma'am. I'm
IT,
currently final year of engineering.
final year of engineering, okay,
Yes.
IT, fine. What about you, Chirag? Can you please unmute yourself?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am, I would like to read about current affairs, about same technology also, then about
technology.
political. Yeah,
Politics. Okay,
political,
technology.
political. Yeah,
What is your background in your studies?
ma'am, I have done BSc IT.
BSc IT. Okay, okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
So see, students who are from commerce background, obviously they will pick articles related with stock market, something related with economics, something related with the budget, something related with trades, tariffs, and because that is the area which you really understand, right? Somebody who is from a technical field, from an engineering background, they would like to read articles related with technology, with artificial intelligence, about cyber security, about material science. So, it completely depends upon in which area ultimately you are interested. You start reading articles related with that topic because that's the natural tendency, because that's what you understand, all right? Or as an individual, I understand. Students who are from science background, biology background, they would like to read articles related with anything related with life sciences. Students who are from medicine, obviously they would like to read articles related with patents, any new any new vaccine or any new drug that is a cure for any particular disease. So that's the natural tendency to read any article or pick up any book as per your interest, right? But this is what we are not supposed to do when you're specifically preparing for competitive exams. Guys, get this thing very clear in your mind. Uh, Preparing verbal for competitive exams is altogether a different ballgame than just reading newspaper, right? That than just solving questions in newspaper, because it has nothing related with that, right? The whole point is about comprehension. You need to understand the word, you need to understand in what context a particular word is used. So even if you feel comfortable in an area, generally you tend to read articles on that. But what I will suggest you read variety of articles on different topics. That is very, very, very important, because then you will read articles on climate, you will read articles on history, you will read articles on geography, you will read articles on technology, on commerce, on maybe archaeology, on topics related with sports, finance, audits, geopolitics, maybe rivers, climate change. So there are plethora of topics on which you can read. And RCs, if there are 3, 4, 5 RCs in exams, obviously all these RCs will be on different topics. And if you are not really comfortable reading articles on different topic, obviously the first hindrance is all about the topic, all about the knowledge, right? तो वहीं पे आपका speed कम हो जाता है, right? Because it's a new thing for you, right? So don't get into that zone, don't get into that situation wherein your speed reduces because you don't know a topic, right? So everybody who is attending this session, make sure that your first target is to start reading whatever comes across to you, right? Pick up any newspaper, pick up any magazine. If you can subscribe Reader's Digest, that's also very very nice magazine booklet, wherein you will get new words to solve. There are very nice articles in that booklet magazine, so you can start from there, because it is nowhere near to how you prepare for your quant, right? Verbal section, you need to have a different mindset when you're preparing for verbal section, because you will get questions wherein you will get answers which are synonyms in your option choices. Then you need to be aware how to go about how a word is used in the paragraph, what is the literal meaning, what is the figurative meaning of that word. Okay. If I use a word for somebody who is new, right? New to a particular process. Can you give me some words for that? Anyone can pitch in. Somebody who is new. Yes. Can anyone pitch in? Who is new to the process? जैसे हम trainee बोलते हैं, right? So trainee is one of the word. Anything else that you can think of?
Fresher.
Fresher. Okay. What else? Yes, pitch in, pitch in.
Interns.
Intern. Yes. What else? Yes. So intern हो गया, fresher हो गया. Now fresher is a specific word which is generally used. Can we use it in a professional scenario? No. Fresher is generally used when you are talking about students who are in college, right? So fresher मतलब first year students को हम fresher बोलेंगे. But intern is a specifically, it's a professional word which is used when somebody is new to the job, right? So again, you can use a word like a neophyte, or somebody who is a beginner, a fresher. Uh, but then again, if I want to use it for somebody uh, who is new, but he is not trained in that profession, but he is new to the profession, and he is doing a particular thing out of love for that profession, out of passion for that profession. So can you guess a word? Can you give a name for that? He's new, but he's doing it out of curiosity, out of love for the work. Can you give me some word for that? Yes. Novice हम लोग बोल सकते हैं. Novice again is a word which is used for somebody who is new to the process. Or neophyte, for don't give lots of work to this person. He's a novice in the company, so new to the company. But somebody who is doing something or doing a work out of love for that work, you will use the word amateur, right? He's an amateur photographer. Now that word, amateur word, cannot be used for an intern, for a trainee, right? Am I right? So this is exactly what I'm referring to, that different words are used differently, right? All the words cannot be, even if they are synonyms, they will not be used under the same context. And different words have got different connotation. Connotation means what feel you get when you are using a particular word, because ultimately it is all about language. Language makes you feel good. Language makes you really feel bad about something, right? So suppose if I want to use a word for somebody who do not spend money easily, can you give me some word for that?
Miser.
Miser. कंजूस के लिए हम क्या word use करेंगे? He's miser, he's frugal. ठीक है? So frugal, miser, what type of connotation it is giving you? A positive connotation or a negative connotation? Yes?
Negative.
Negative connotation. मैं कंजूस के लिए ये word use कर रही हूँ, right? But if I want a positive word for the same thing, I don't want to use a negative word. Then which word can replace this word? Because I don't want to use a negative word. Yes? Anyone? Anyone can pitch in? Yes? Oh, we can say, oh, someone is financially wise in his or her spendings, right? That ways you can put up. Or you can also say, oh, someone is economical in his expenses, right?
Thrifty.
Huh?
Thrifty.
Thrifty is also someone who will think before spending. Okay, but if I want to use a positive word, then thrifty will really not go into a positive side. So economical is a word of someone who calculates, who will not just spend money just like that. So there are two things again: denotation and connotation. Denotation means exactly what does the word denotes, what's the literal meaning of a word. Connotation means what feel you get from a particular word, right? So when you are reading newspapers, pay attention, because we in Planetary, we just not just cover vocabulary, we also cover all the grammatical aspects of language. We also cover reasoning. So there are so many things. I'm just giving you a peep into how you will be preparing for exams, but detail, you have to spend, if you're preparing for competitive exams, believe me, somebody who is working, I can still give them a little leeway, because they may not get enough time for preparation. But somebody who has taken a drop and who can spend time, you need at least 1.5 hours for your verbal section, apart from the classes that you will come, right? For quant section also, you have to spend at least 2 hours. So if you want to join classes for competitive exams, then this is the bare minimum that we would expect from all of you, that it's not just that you will just come to the classes and that's it. No, this is where we will give you a hand holding. We'll give you all the material. We'll tell you how to prepare. But ultimately, we need efforts from your side. We need all of you to put in, at least if you're spending 2 hours here, we want you to go home and redo the topic, put some efforts from your side. And language is something that it's not necessary that you have to sit at one place, and you can just to know words. There are so many apps like It is an app, free dictionary का app है. Anyone has seen that app? Yes, किसी ने डाउनलोड किया है क्या? नहीं. So you can just download that app. There is a game, I think, in that app, Hangman करके. Like if you don't guess a word in maybe 5 to 10 chances, then that man will be killed. So that's the kind of game you can play in your free time. So and there will be word for the day. There'll be a particular a word which the origins will be on a specific date. So these are the different ways you can learn words, because ultimately words will lead you to a sentence, and sentence ultimately will lead you to a paragraph and an RC paragraph. So that's the smallest unit, and you need to work it is not something that you will just smug up for a few days and you will you will just remember words, because the horizon is quite large. There are almost 5 to 6,000 words in the language. And yes, we do not expect you to learn all this, because there are so many words that are sometimes obsolete, also not used in regular communication medium. But there are few, a set of maybe 1,500 to 2,000 words which are used regularly in newspaper. So if you pick up newspaper, what we expect, like that you first and the foremost things, get into the habit of reading, because that's where most of the students uh, they fail to really get into the habit of reading for it. Because RCs, if you're reading for 3 RCs non-stop, if you're reading, students, they actually complain that we feel exhausted, we don't understand the third RC. By the time we reach the third RC, it becomes extremely strenuous for us, right? So this is where the hindrance lies, because if you are not able to read comfortably, then obviously your speed reduces. If your speed reduces, 30 seconds is what you get in your exams, right? So RC, what is expected out of you, that you have to do how many questions? Maybe like if I talk about CAT examinations, CET, there are around 200 questions. So it depends, like how the number of hours, and if you talk about the number of questions and how much time you get to solve, it's not more than 30 to 40 seconds, maximum 1 minute you can get, right? And the easiest scoring portion in language is your vocabulary. So read variety of articles, jot down words that you have not understood. Uh, learning how you can go about, because we'll be taking in detail different aspects of learning, because obviously you will not remember words if you have suppose done around 20 to 30 words on a specific day. You will obviously, you are going to forget how so you will not be able to remember on the third or fourth day, right? But then we have techniques how to go about it. There is a way to do things, right? You can learn words via synonyms and antonyms method. That's the easiest way you can remember words. So if I give you an example of a word like someone who is uh, who is uh, who is quite if I give you an example of someone who is courageous. Now, can you give me some synonyms for courage? Yes, pitchin, pitchin. Yes, any word for courage? How
Brave,
many words are there? Yes, brave. What else?
daring,
Daring. Yes.
Ma'am, bold.
Bold. Yes.
Fearless.
Huh? Fearless. Okay.
bravery,
ब्रेवरी के अवार्ड्स के कौन से अवार्ड्स होते हैं ब्रेवरी के लिए? गैलेंट्री अवार्ड्स बोलते हैं ना, राइट? What else? Knighthood. Knighthood is another word for bravery. What else?
Heroic.
Heroic. Yes. What else? What else?
Valiant.
Valiant. Yes. Very good word actually. What else? Audacious. Audacity. Okay. Audacious means shockingly bold. Now, audacious, is it a positive word or a negative? Because courage, if I say uh, courage is a positive word, right? If I say someone is courageous, uh, he's courageous in a positive way. But if I say audacious or audacious attack on the parliament of the country, what type of word it is?
Negative.
Yes, it is negative, right? If I say shockingly bold, right? The kind of boldness that we would not like to see, right? So audacious attack, it's slightly on a negative side. Okay. But yes, if you talk about that, you need to jot down synonyms for courage, you can use this word as a synonym. Any other word that you can think of for courage? Yes? Anything else? Okay. Any antonym for this word? Courage? Yes?
Coward.
Coward, yes. What else? Coward, meek. What else?
Timid.
Huh? Timid, yes. What else?
Fearful.
Huh? Fearful, ट्रेपिड इंट्रेपिड आपका करेज में चला जाएगा. ठीक है. ट्रेम्बलिंग. What else? Any other word?
Gutless.
Gutless, spineless. What else? Yes, fearful, petrified. ठीक है. Petrified or terrified. Timid is fearful. Timorous is another word. So see, now just we are just, yes, tell me, yes, Vidhi, bolo.
Delicate.
Delicate will not be an exact antonym, but a near word.
Faint-hearted.
Huh?
Faint-hearted.
Faint-hearted. Yes, faint-hearted will be an
Ma'am, chicken-hearted.
yeah, you can use these words. So see, by just discussing things, we have come on. How many words we have discussed right away? More than 10? Yes. So this is the way you need to learn words. Believe me, if you learn words like this, it becomes a playful act. Then you will not feel, you'll not get bored out of this activity. Learn words via synonyms and antonyms route. Pick up words, because when you're reading newspapers, there are so many words that you don't know, right? Don't just brush it aside. When you are going out on billboards, anywhere you come across words, any brand name that you are not aware of, make sure you go and put in efforts from your side to go and check it, what is the exact meaning of that word, how that word is used in the sentence, if there are any synonyms, antonyms related with that word, if there are any phrasal verbs, or if there are any idioms related with that word. Get into do a research on that word, because if you spend time, believe me, every day, I just want all of you to spend 10 to 15 minutes, that's it, right? And as a group, if you're joining Planety, we have groups, we have batches running. So in those batches, if there are around maybe 30 students, then obviously 30 students, if there is obviously we make groups of these students. Then in those groups also, students they share words, or they share any articles that they have come across, because that's what is group learning is all about, right? Because if someone points out a particular word, then you will always remember that word. So then make sure you are just discussing it with your friend, or discussing it with your batchmates, how that word is used in a sentence, in a paragraph, if there are any contextual meanings to that particular word. That's how you remember. Ultimately, the whole idea is to memorize, because at at the time of exams, you don't have time, first of all, right? When you don't have time, whatever is there, you need to mark the answers correctly, because accuracy is very, very important in exams. If there is negative marking, it is 3:1. If you are going for a right answer, you will get 3 marks. If you are going for a wrong answer, 1 marks will be deducted. So then this is the only portion which and grammar section, right? These are the two areas on which you can score marks. So guys, start preparing for exams. Because English as such, there is no syllabus for English, right? If I talk about different sections that come in your exams, you will get questions on RCs, reading comprehension. In RCs, you will get questions related with the tone of the paragraph. Again, tone, figures of speech, these are all vocabulary based questions. Then you will get questions related with central idea of the paragraph, or inference based questions. Those are little difficult ones, specifically in your CAT examinations, that such exams, such questions will come. So these are the questions related with RC. Then your second section is your grammar. In grammar, all our parts of speech are covered. Yes, what all are the different parts of speech, guys? Yana, can you pitch in? Yes. Prem Shah, can you pitch in? What are the different parts of speech? Quick, फटाफट बोलो. Yes, Kanchan.
Noun, like
Yes.
noun, pronoun,
Nouns, pronouns, adjectives,
adjective,
adverbs,
adverb,
prepositions,
more, interjection.
prepositions, conjunctions, direct speech, indirect speech, tenses, verbs, interjections, right? So all these, constituents are required to make a statement. So we also take detailed sessions on grammar, because obviously you must have studied your grammar section in your 10th standard or 12th standard. After that, students really, they get out of touch, for specifically for grammar portion. So we take sessions topic wise, for all these topics. And yes, grammar portion in your CAT examination per se, you will not really get questions on grammar, but all your CAT affiliated exams and MAT, CT, then your SNAP, all these exams will have good number of questions. If anyone is preparing for banking exams also, they have, you will get good number of questions for grammar. The third section is definitely vocabulary. So it is not just vocabulary. There are questions related with homonyms also. Any idea what are homonyms, homophones? Yes. Anyone?
Ma'am, same sound, ma'am. Is that
Same
similar
sounding?
word with a different meaning?
Yes.
Different meaning and same sound.
Different meaning and same sound, right? So there are so many words. Like if I give you an example, so obviously ये questions कैसे पूछेंगे आपके FIB questions में होगा, right? Fill in the blanks type of question. So they will give you a statement and they will give you a blank, and they'll give you both the words and they'll ask you which word fits in the best. So again, same sounding words, you are you are totally confused. And if you are not really aware, or even if you are aware, then you are confused, like which word exactly fits in. Like if I give you an example of the word seer, now there are 2-3 words, like SEER is one word, SEAR is one word, SERE is one word. So any idea what these words, what are the different meanings of these words? What is SEAR? First of all, tell me what is SEER, seer. Yes, anyone has any idea what is seer? Smith, do you have any idea what is seer? Yes?
Ma'am, can I answer?
Yeah, tell me. Anyone, please, guys, pitch in. This is not a school lecture.
A respectful elderly wise person.
No, not really. Seer is someone who can foresee. Okay? Foresee the future, foretell the future. जिसको हम ज्योतिष बोलते हैं हिंदी में, right? So we call such person a seer, SEER. Then what is SEAR? Yes. What is SEAR? Searing and seething with anger. The country, after the terrorist attack, the country is seething and searing with anger. What does that mean? So SEAR means what? Seething is also the same, or you can say synonym of this word. Any idea? SEAR. अरे phone पे तो check करो कम से कम. Check it on your phones, guys. What is SEAR?
Ma'am?
हाँ, pitch in.
Ma'am, a sudden burn of a surface.
हाँ, sudden burn on the surface. ये तो literal meaning हो गया उसका word का, right, Ritesh?
Yes, ma'am. He
हाँ,
googled it.
हाँ. So, but then is that the only way it is used? Not always. So if I say searing is also a word which is used. Boil means what? Something that burns. Burn can also be used as an alternative word for extreme anger, right? So sear word can also be used for someone who is extremely angry or agitated. Okay, and so that's SEAR. Then what is SERE? Seer. Yes. What is SERE? हम्म चेक करो, फोन पे चेक करो, गूगल पे। व्हाट इज SCRE? check it. Vrishabh, pigeon, what is SCRE?
To escape something.
To escape something, SCRE, is that the only meaning? Check it, guys. Participate. Yes. Kanchan, find it out. What is SCRE? Hmm. So sear is also, it's in there. There's another meaning for sear. That means something that is devoid of water, right? Seared crops, withered away, right? Something that gets dried due to lack of water. So see, all these words, the pronunciation is same. All the words, we pronounce it as seer, but then the spelling is different and the meanings are also altogether different, right? And if you are not really aware of how a particular word can be used in a sentence, then obviously you will not. So even if you know just one word and if you are not really aware of the remaining 2-3 words, then it will be difficult for you to find out the correct option, right? So there is a way you need to go ahead and do practice for these type of questions.
So you are mute.
Can you hear me? Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, just hold on because there was a power cut at my place. Just give me 2 minutes. Yes. Uh, so this is how. So these questions will come under the context of homonyms or homophones. Okay. So in vocabulary, you will get questions on homophones. You will get questions on direct vocabulary, synonyms, antonyms, usage-based questions. You will get questions on parajumbles. Any idea what are parajumbles? Yes. What are parajumbles?
Basically, you have to change the sequence of the
Change.
some sentences given to make a meaningful
Correct.
sentence. Yeah.
Right. So parajumbles is so the difficulty level can be really, really very, very, these questions can be extremely difficult to solve. Okay. If parajumbles are basically they'll give you 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7 statements also, wherein you have to rearrange the statements in a correct sequence. If you get four statements, it is still on an easier side. But if the number of statements go up to 7, 8 sometimes, then it becomes slightly difficult to solve these questions. Okay. And negative marking is there. I don't think so in CT there is negative marking, but in CAT you will have negative marking all the other exams also. So parajumbles is one type of question. Analogies is another very important question, again based on words vocabulary. So what are analogies? Any idea? Yes, analogies. Anyone? Are you aware of this word analogy? Dhruva, Durva, Rutuja.
Basically, difference between two things or something.
So basically, when we form relationship between two words, that relationship, two words can be synonyms, they can be antonyms, it can be a part in a whole relationship, it can be a classification relationship. Like if I say a pumpkin is a type of creeper, so bamboo is it's a type of grass. Okay, so एक तो होता है कि analogies are really based on words, vocabulary or language per se. But analogies can also be analytical analogies wherein numbers are given and sequencing you need to find out the correct sequence. जैसे किसी number का square root, so square root plus 10, right? So there will be two numbers जिसका square root plus 10 होगा, and then the next number is cube root plus 10. So if you understand the particular sequence, you can put the next fourth state this thing into the correct sequence, fourth number. तो एनालिटिकल सीक्वेंसिंग भी बहुत आता है, विजुअल रीजनिंग बहुत आता है, राइट? सो दीज आर द डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस, एंड देन आपका लॉजिकल रीजनिंग इज अनदर सेक्शन वेयर इन you will get questions related with assumptions, conclusions, cause and effect, statements and assertions, strengthening of arguments, weakening of arguments. So these are the areas on which questions will be asked in your verbal section. Okay. So I've given you a preview of how to go about it, how you are going to prepare. But yes, obviously, when you're preparing, if you join a particular coaching class, like if you join Planetary, there is a systematic way we teach our students. There is a lesson plan that we take each and every topic separately, and we discuss in the classes all these topics, and that's how we go about it. So that's a brief about verbal section. Anything that you want to ask students, but then yes, equal preparation is required from student side also. Whichever exam you are preparing for, CAT, for GRE, GMAT, CET, banking exams, we need efforts from the student side also. We will be providing you everything. We'll be providing you with the books, with the classes, all the help, advanced lectures for CAT examination, for CET also. But then it's very important that the students also study at home. Very, very important. For verbal, it's mandatory. For quant also, it is mandatory. So I think I gave you a fair idea about verbal section. Anything that you would like to ask, student Rishabh, Disha? I can see only few names on my screen. So if anyone else want to pitch in, please you can ask. If you have any doubts, yes.
Ma'am, suppose for the vocabulary section, like I read newspapers on a daily basis, like the Times of India. So basically, but in the exam, there are different vocabularies which are not used in the in some newspapers or some books. How to go about it then?
See, book is very, you will have limited, like if you're reading a novel, fiction novel, you will get only few words. Okay? But when you read articles in newspaper, first of all, RCs are on different topics. So when you're picking up articles in newspaper, you are actually reading a new topic on a daily basis. Okay? That itself is a practice for RC. Now, side by side, obviously, you will come across different words in articles, right? Now, build up on that vocabulary by learning synonyms and antonyms. So over a period of time, you will see, because see, by the time of your exams, we want all of you to learn around 3,000 to 4,000 words, right? It is a possible target, but then you need to slowly and steadily achieve that target. You need to learn words on a daily basis. तो इसमें जो आप बोल रहे हो कौस्तव की cover, some words which are not used, most of the times so in communication medium, there is always a set of words generally there, which are used. Ab exam mein you will not get word which is archaic in use, which is, people are not using nowadays. Most of the time such words are not asked in the examination. But yes, difficulty level will be there. So you need to be prepared for that. And reading newspapers, finding out words from there is a practical and easiest way to improve your vocabulary.
Ma'am, any tips for, like, suppose if I have not encountered a word, then how should I go about it in the exam?
No, see, if you are not aware of that word, there is no way you can find the meaning, right? So which question you need to attempt and which you need to skip, you have to make that decision at the time of, appearing for the exam. Because you need to be really quick in your thinking how you are going to attempt that particular question. Because see, it may feel, and it's easy to skip a question in English verbal section. Quant में तो maths में तो फिर भी आपको solve करना पड़ेगा, and then after some point of time you realize कि ये नहीं, I'm not able to do this question, I'm not able to solve this question. But in verbal section, clearly vocab, either you know it the answer or you don't know the answer. That's how quickly you are able to so you don't really need more time to do these questions.
Yes,
सिर्फ एक
ma'am.
RC का है, RC is a portion which requires time to comprehend, but otherwise बाकी questions में इतना time नहीं लगता है.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think that's a brief introduction from our side from Planet E. Otherwise, you can, if you have further questions regarding the preparation and the overall details about different examination, the dates and everything, you can contact Avinash sir. So that and also 1 second. And also Avinash sir and Praveen sir. Swati is also there. You can contact her also, or you can just walk in our branch. It's there in Thane. Okay. So and then you can discuss things one-on-one. So that's how that's a brief from my side. Anything else you want to ask students?
Student, you can write your questions in chat box also.
Yeah. You can ask. You can just unmute yourself and you can ask.
What would be the portion for this?
Portion as in Vidhi?
I mean, syllabus.
हाँ, that's what I told you, ना, syllabus as such verbal का कुछ syllabus नहीं होता है. Like quant में you know कि अच्छा ये topics है profit and loss, there will be 30-40 questions that can be built on profit and loss, right? If you solve all these variety of questions, more or less you will be able to solve it in the examination also. But verbal is it's language, guys, right? You cannot bound language into a box. Can you really do that? No, right? I can prepare n number of questions in verbal section because it is ultimately expression, right? I can use different words to express myself. So there is no syllabus. Yes, there are sections. Reading comprehension is one of them. Vocabulary is one of them. Grammar portion is one of them. But if you are asking me कि syllabus क्या है, there is no syllabus, guys, as such. Because analogies, if I talk about relationship between two words, I can ask anything. You know, there is no syllabus. अभी relationship, if I say a finger is a part of hand, so iris is a part of eyes. Right, it's related with biology. So analogies में bio से related भी questions आएंगे, physics से related भी questions आएंगे, sometimes related with geography also. Chief minister, if this person is related to so and so state, so this person is related to which state. Sports awards related questions आते हैं. Syllabus in verbal section. Get this thing out of your mind.
Ma'am, can I ask one more doubt?
Yeah, go ahead.
So basically in RC, like there's like long RCs in CAT and various omits also. So basically people say like you have to eliminate, you have to not read some of the paragraphs, but still you have to understand that paragraph. So
Okay. Kaustav, can you, in maths also we say, oh, don't solve the question and you use shortcuts. Can you really jump onto shortcuts without understanding the problem?
No, like they say like you have to not read each and every word to save
Agreed,
time.
Kaustav, but then that situation will come later on, not immediately. Student who is not really, comfortable in reading, can you really start with that? No, reading between the lines is a very later on stage.
Yeah. Basically,
Right.
like in exams, people do say like I like talked to my some of the seniors and they said me like
that is there. We say read because obviously आपको अगर मैंने बोला कि 5 to 10 minutes में RC solve करना है, questions भी solve करने हैं, 5 questions, it is not physically possible to read. Only if see a person who cracks a CAT exam, his speed is around 700 to 750 words per minute. In that speed, he is reading also and comprehending also. A normal person, he reads around 200 to 250 words per minute. Now, obviously, so it's not for many people, it's not humanly possible to read and comprehend the paragraph within 5 minutes. Okay? So that's why they say then read between the lines. But that is a stage. आप 100 तक directly नहीं पहुंचोगे ना बिना 1 से count करके, it's like that.
Yeah, I get it.
तो वो stage है, but then it will take time. It's like higher proficiency level of reading. If there is no such a, then on what topic should we focus on priority? Priority is go ahead and read. बहुत से students तो they get tired. I get complaint कि हम थक गए read करके reading comprehension. So that is your first hindrance. You should not feel tired when you are done with 1 or 2 paragraphs and then you say, okay, अभी मेरे से हो ही नहीं रहा है. First of all, get out of that situation. At one stretch, you should be in a position to minimum solve 5 RCs back to back. वो level पे लेके आओ खुद को पहले. ठीक है. और इसीलिए फिर classes लगाए. See, when you are joining a coaching class, then एक तो क्या होता है, regularity रहती है कि okay, even if you don't feel like अच्छा class है तो you have to get up, you have to go to the class, you have to sit for 2 hours, you need to solve questions, right? So that kind of regularity is maintained. That is very important. There is something to push you, right? Otherwise, खुद से भी करते हैं, but then खुद से वो you may not be in a position to self motivate on that level. That's the whole thing. Yes, we will be providing you with some study material. We'll be providing you with sample papers also. There are extra materials. बहुत है material. Don't worry, guys. पढ़ना तो शुरू करो तुम लोग. Yes. Anyone else has some other doubt?
I think, ma'am, it's done now. No one is responding
Yes.
to that. Yeah. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Rasika, ma'am, for giving the wonderful session. And believe these are going to help to the candidate for their CAT any other entrance examination. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, students. Hope to see you in the office of Planety.
Definitely.
Yes.
Student, we have another session on 27th. 27th September is another part of session on quant and aptitude. So regards the speaker profile and Zoom link, be in touch with your counselor, and we are going to end this session. And thank you again, ma'am. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone. Good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, ma'am.